Hello, in this video you will learn to create the recursive quadratic function from a given table or pattern. To accomplish this, there are 4 steps, and as you can see at the bottom, there's also a formula with 3 blanks. The following steps will allow you to fill in the blanks. For example, we start off by calculating first and second difference. This is to determine if we have a quadratic function. In case we do not have a quadratic function, we would have to use a different method. Then we have to use step number 2. You look at the second difference, and whatever you get will be going in the first blank next to the or in front of the x. Then you will be looking at the first difference between the values of -1 and 0. Whichever number you get for that will go in the next blank. And last but not least, you find f of 0, meaning you look for x equals 0 on the table, and the y value for that would be going on the last blank. So, for example, this is the problem. Let's start by finding first and second difference. So in order to go from 8 to 18, we have to add 10. From 18 to 32, we have to add 14. From 32 to 50, we have to add 18. And the last one, we would have to add 22. We now have to find the second difference because all these numbers are different. So to go from 10 to 14 is add 4. 14 to 18 is also add 4. 18 to 22 is also add 4. Again, this is step number 1. We require to find previous numbers. We need to find 0 and also -1. And just to be sure, make sure that on this side, on the x column, this is always a +1. Okay. So the second difference will always be a +4. We're looking for how do I get from this number right here that is blank to 8? If everything is increasing by 4 on the second difference, notice 10, 14, 18, 22, what would be a number before that? That number would be 6. In other words, if you're trying to go back this way, you would subtract -4 from 10, and that gives you 6. So a number plus 6 gives you 8, that number is 2. And we need to go all the way back. Again, this is still +4. So going back, we would have to subtract 4. 6 minus 4 would give you +2. So we're looking for a number right here that whenever you add this 2 would give you 2. And that number has to be 0. Now we have to complete it first and second difference. This is the first. This is the second difference. We are now ready to move to step number 2. Step 2. We are looking for what is the second difference. And the second difference in this case is 4. So that would be equal to 4. Again, as soon as you get that number goes right here. So we have a 4x. Now we move on to step number 3. Step number 3 requires you to find the value of the first difference between -1 and 0. So let's find -1 and 0 right here. And the value of the first difference is a +2. This number goes directly here. Last but not least, we have step 4. And we are trying to find, we look for f of 0 right here, and the y value for that would be 2. So we pick 0, 2, and this 2 is what goes right there. This concludes the problem.